Hello, you wonderful, wonderful people. I have to reshoot this. I did it just a few minutes ago, but when I looked at the footage, I realized that filming outside on my balcony was not a good idea because it was way too loud, so now we'll do it again, inside, with a closed window. This vlog is a little bit shorter than the others, and there's only a few minutes of footage before this, because I wanted to do something I have not done yet for Bangkok, and that is talk about what I think about my trip so far. I did not talk about Seoul or Busan simply because I've been there before. And the first time I went to Seoul, if you have seen my old vlogs, for me it felt like coming home, which it did not. When I came to Bangkok, it did not feel like coming home. But that's not bad. It's not something that happens with every city I go to. There's like just a few. There's London, there's Seoul, and there's of course Hamburg. Even though I was not born in the north of Germany, Hamburg feels like home always. So yeah. But Bangkok definitely did not feel like home. As I said, which is not bad, it's just different. And as I've said a lot of times in these vlogs, Bangkok is very, very busy. I thought so beforehand, so I really was looking forward for the busyness, for all this traffic chaos, if you can call it that, because I never see anything happen. It just feels a little bit chaotic. But I have seen something in a really, really smaller scale before when I was in Paris. The motorbike drivers are as weird as the ones here, and in Korea the same, so it's just not as many. So what do I think of Bangkok and the little bit of Thailand I have seen so far? I like it. It is definitely fun to explore. It's definitely different, and if you do what I like to do and you leave the touristy ways, then you can see a lot of things you might not be able to see otherwise. I'm trying to film them, but even more I'm trying to capture them in photos for my Instagram, because the difference between old building, between things that almost look like ruins and newer parts of the city are so big. This contrast is so interesting. I just love to show it to you, and I am pretty sure I've been to a few street corners or whatever where there have not been that many tourists, especially because I tend to walk everywhere. So whenever I walk, there's a lot of honking, or there can be honking, which does not mean that someone is rudely flirting with me, but it means that someone is passing me by who is a driver of some kind. So it might be a taxi, it might be a driver like a motorbike driver or a tuk-tuk, and they just want to tell me, hey, are you looking for a taxi? Here I am. And I never am. I like to walk. I've also been approached by people asking me if I was lost, if I was looking for this or that, and most of the times, no, I'm not. You're very kind and thank you for asking. But even if I'm looking at my Google Maps, I'm not looking at it because I'm lost. Most of the times I look at it to go, where do I want to go next? What's this? What's this? Oh yeah, let's just go this way. So I think it probably looks like I'm lost because I stare at my map. But I'm willingly lost. I love getting lost, in a way. That's how I find new places. That's how I explore a city. So by doing that, of course you might wonder, you're alone, you're on your own, do you feel okay doing this? And the answer is yes. Big disclaimer, as I said when I was in Korea, I am boring, if you want to call it that. So the latest I've been out, as you have seen, was I was back before 8 p.m. So when I was walking back and forth to the night market, there were a lot of students, there were a lot of people coming from work, so it was just a normal crowd. Only difference, it was dark. So I didn't feel, I wasn't scared or anything. It was a normal crowd. I was walking through parts where probably most of the tourists would take a taxi, but that doesn't mean anything. It just means that I look very out of place. That's all. But wherever I went, I felt fine. One of the things I do to be safe is I don't put in headphones, but it's not for the reason you might think. I am a big headphone girl. I crank up the music when I'm scared, so I don't have to hear if someone is behind me. I know that's wrong, but it's just the way how I cope with things. And here I don't do it, but not because I think someone will be behind me, but because I have to listen for possible motorbikes. So it doesn't matter how small the street is I'm going through. So if it's a back alley and it's just like very tiny, I have to hear if there's a bike coming or not, so I can let them pass. That's something I do, because they are driving like crazy and they're driving everywhere. So to be safe, I tend to not listen to music. It only has to do with traffic, not with people. I know it's weird, I know I am weird, I know I might be a bit too cocky when it comes to things like that, but that's how I am. Yeah, I have visited a lot of malls. I've not filmed all of them, but I have been to a few of them, and all of them are very, very cold. So after my first trip, or my first 2 trips, I now tend to carry a jumper with me, or at least my cardigan to put on, because I'm afraid that I will get a cold, because it's so freaking hot when I'm outside and I tend to sweat a lot, as we've talked about before. I just want to make sure I don't get cold, so I have a cardigan with me, and when I'm in the metro or when I'm in a mall, I tend to put that on, so I'm not getting sick. That's something you should know, because it's very interesting when you do like the shopping, or when you walk through the malls, which are just very high-end malls. It's like the big one we went to in Busan, or the big and my most beloved ones in Germany. I like the KaDeWe in Berlin and the Alsterhaus in Hamburg, which does not mean I buy a lot of things there. They're just very pretty, and they're more high-end, so it's more fun to go through them, because they're like very organized, and you can watch at very expensive things and go, oh yes, that's nice, and then you find your stuff somewhere else. But yeah, the malls that I went to were more like that. There's also stores of all kinds in them. There's not only high-end malls, but as I said, they're very, very cold. So there's a lot of AC, and even worse is the metro. The metro is cold, like almost freezing cold. I don't know why. I don't know why they think it's a good idea to just go, that's 30 degrees out there and now we have under 20. It feels like, I don't know, but it feels like they turn it down really, 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 really low. Yeah. And otherwise, the people are wonderful. I don't have that many interactions, but that's also because I am me, and because I don't speak the language. But you can get away with English almost everywhere. Sorry, my camera was getting a bit hot. So we were talking about English and how to get through here. You can, and even with the little stalls, if they don't speak English, you just show them what you want, you just point at it and it's fine. And they're very, very sweet. And I think, like, you always hear a lot of things like, don't do this, don't do that. If you're a tourist and you look like a tourist, then if you do your best and they see that you're doing your best, then the little things that might not be okay when you're from their culture are fine. There's of course things you shouldn't do, and those things have to do mostly with the king. But yeah, it's things like you are not allowed to step on money, because then you would step on his face. So if something flies away, don't use a foot to stop the bill. Yeah, those are things that are really important. Don't do that. Those could get you in trouble. But if it's things like, I've heard that you're not supposed to point with your finger, but always with your whole hand. If you do that, I don't think it's that bad, because you've forgotten and you go, oh, I want that. They don't look at you like, oh, you're heathen, but they're like, oh, okay, she's a tourist, that's fine. So yeah, I am enjoying my time, and I will now enjoy the rest of my day. I've just watched the Game Awards at 8 AM in the morning. And today will be a little slower. And tomorrow I will be taking you to a weekend market. So I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, this is the whole vlog you get this time. So a lot of talking, I'm really sorry. But see you in the next one, and then you will get more images of Bangkok. And of course, on the 12th I will be flying to Chiang Mai, and I won't be editing while I'm in Chiang Mai, so you will get the Chiang Mai vlog once I'm back, and I will be back on the 16th, so you probably will get it on the 17th. Probably. I'm not going to promise you, but it's very, very probable. Until then, see you in the next vlog. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment so we can boost the algorithm. I know most of you are subscribed that watch this, as I can see on my little analytics. So thank you for that, and thank you for coming with me on this journey. See you in the next vlog. Bye!